Hello, hello, hello. It's that time. It's that what? It's that day. It's that time. Welcome, welcome. What's going on out there, people? Let me know you're here. As usual, got lag, so we'll see how long this takes. Serious lag this time. Wow. Totally, totally laggy. So I'll just sit here and wait for you guys to stream in here. I'll just be here chilling. Well, that's kind of funny. I'm sweating to death, so I'm not exactly chilling, but you know what I mean. So I'll just sit here and wait for y'all to get in here. Go away. It's hot. Really, really hot. Let me know what you, let me know when you guys are here, because like I said, I got a lag. So, and I can see that there are people here, but I can't see any chat. So if you're chatting or not chatting, or you're waiting for something, I don't know. But I feel so alone, even though I know there are people in here, because I can see there are people in here. So, uh,
Everyone subscribe to my DJ.
well, thanks for the endorsement, but most of the people that are in here are already subscribed to me. But thank you. Thank you very much. Goofy. Hi, Lucy. You driving home from work? All right, well, be careful. I won't ask you any of the pertinent questions until you are at home and not driving. But let me know when you're home, and I'll ask you the pertinent questions. Oh, are we having issues, technical difficulties? Because it's shown that there are people here, but I can't see any chat other than Lucy. You're welcome, Lucy. So for those of you that are in here, um, how's your day been? How's your week been? What are you working on? Are you drinking anything interesting? Working on anything interesting? Fill me in. Let me know. You may experience a little bit of chaos and noise in the background because, as usual, nothing gets done in this house until I go live. And then suddenly there's a million things going on. Happens every week. I've been doing this live for almost a year now. Still. Something goofy always happens on Wednesday. Right around the time I'm supposed to go live. I'm really starting to think something may be wrong. Hi, Estella. Yeah, only a million? Okay, 1.5 million, you know. I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic. How are you doing, Estella? What are you working on? How's your week been? And are you sipping on anything interesting? Or what's in your cup? What are you drinking? I'm drinking sparkling water and fruit juice. I'm trying to wait a minute or so more. Because I guess I probably just have some lurkers, maybe? people that just don't chime in on chat, which is fine. I lurk in a lot of lives. I don't always talk in them, mainly because I talk enough on my own live and the panel I'm doing, which is fun. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy doing the panel, and it's cool helping Reggie hold her spot till she comes back. But yeah, that's a lot of talking. You're spinning and you're drinking water. Cool. What kind of fibers are you spinning? Well, my week was not bad. Let's see. Since I talked to you last, I I've been working on a couple of pattern ideas. Um, but I'm kind of hampered right now because I've got a serious case of carpal tunnel going on, and this hand is killing me. So I can only like crochet for like 5 or 10 minutes at a time. Then I have to stop, and the pain is shooting from my hand all the way up into my shoulder, and it's to the point now where I can't even find a comfortable way to lay when I go to bed. So it's kind of miserable. So I've really had to cut back on my crocheting. And the irony is, I'm left-handed. This is my right hand, but because I hold the piece that I'm working on with this hand, it's painful. So I've had to curve back my crocheting quite a bit, which is driving me crazy because, of course, I'm brimming with ideas now, and now I can't work on them because I can't crochet for more than 5 or 10 minutes at a time. So I'm rather frustrated with that. That started, you know, late last week, like Thursday or Friday. So I've been wrestling with that. Um, and of course, yeah, the holiday, and the whole family was home because they all had the week off. They all had the weekend off. So, they were here. So that was cool. And they were in and out. So I've been crocheting in small increments. I'm back to doing some diamond painting since, I only need this hand to do that. So I've been doing that. Doing some sketch work. I got some really cool sketch software, and I think I told you guys about my Apple Pen last week, didn't I? I told you about this. So yeah, so I got some really cool software in that Apple Pen. So I've been sketching on my iPad, and yeah, that's pretty much what I've been working on and what I've been doing since I talked to you last. Well, I guess technically, for some of you, the last time I talked to you was Sunday, but since my last live, that's all I've been doing. Let's see what's everybody saying. Wait, no. So it says, I blended a Shetland alpaca mix with sari silk roving on a top whorl spindle. Oh, cool. I can't get anywhere near alpaca, but that the mixture of that alpaca and that sari silk has got to be lovely. I am writing them down. It's just I'm one of those people that I get the idea and I just kind of need to work it out by hand to see if the idea works or not. So yeah, I've written the ideas down and I've done some sketches and some general idea of how I think that I would do the pattern. But until I actually can work it out, I'm frustrated. No, it's not. Carpool is no joke. And when you combine it with the fact that my day job, I'm a writer, so I spend, you know, for, well, about 20 hours a week typing. Between that and the crochet, yeah, I'm dealing with it. It's no fun at all. Hi, Marquita. Hi, y'all. I'm working on chores, but listening to on the headset. I'm sorry about your carpal tunnel, Kim. Thanks. So I have been enjoying watching your spinning. Spinning's cool. I did catch the very tail end, I think, of your last live when you were spinning. It's something that if I ever move to a house that I've got more space, that would definitely be one of the crafts that I'd probably delve into. That because that and ceramics are the two things I've always kind of wanted. Okay, there's three: spinning, ceramics, and stained glass. But you kind of need room to work and spread out to do those. But if I ever get my dream craft room, trust and believe, I will be incorporating all three of those into my craft life. I have both. I'm not wearing the brace right now because my brace is really clunky. Well, the one I can find. I've got another one that's soft and it's really nice, but I can't find it. I rearranged my craft room and I think I stuck it in the bin. I don't know what bin it's in. So I really need to dig it out. But yeah, the brace I can't find is really clunky and it gets in my way. But I sleep with the compression glove. All right, with that out of the way, I actually have semi completed some stuff. So I'm just going to show you what I've been working on. This is a pattern I'm working on. I think I had told you last week that I was working on placemats, and I was doing like the log cabin pattern. Let me get Lucy's comment off of here real quick. Hey, Kath, how you doing? Up a little late, aren't you? I'm glad. So cool to see you. What are you working on? What are you sipping on? Fill us in. I was just about to show you some of the stuff that I was working on, that I've been working on when I can, when my hand isn't cramping. So I told you guys I was working on patterns for placemats. Okay, well, this is the pattern. Now, let me get Cass comment over here. This is one of them. And I like the pattern itself, but I didn't like that it was working up as a square because I don't like square placemats. I like rectangular placemats. I'm a traditionalist, sue me. So, also, I didn't like this big block of purple. So I reimagined it a little bit, and I came up with. Well, no, okay. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. I didn't like the big block of purple, so I tried a smaller block of purple, which I liked better. But back to my what I had just said, I am not crazy about square placemats. So I decided, well, I know I'm committed to the log cabin pattern. I just need to figure out how to do the granny rectangle. So I did a granny rectangle. This is, well, probably about halfway finished, but this is what it's going to look like because the next, this side and this side will be in this green, and then after that will be another thing of gray, and then I'll go back to this purple. And that's what the placemats are going to look like, which I really like. So that's the back. There's the front. So I was happy to figure that out. So I wrote this pattern out. So, you know, it's a pretty simple pattern. It's literally just log cabin, granny stitch log cabin. Not difficult, but I wrote it out anyway. Um, so yeah, I figured that out, and then I got this other idea for yet another placemat where I'm going to take little flower coasters and stitch them together. But I had to come up with the flower pattern that I liked. Well, this is my first attempt at a pattern. It's cute, but I don't want to use it for a placemat. I don't know. This might become an ornament of some sort. I might add some beads or something. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But that was my first attempt. It's okay. But then I came up. Oh, you're still attached. Oops. With this one, and this is the pattern I settled on. And this one I wrote this pattern as well. But this time I got smart. I wrote the pattern as I made it. So I'm going to make a bunch of these and connect them and make those into placemats. Here's another one I'm working on now. So some of them are going to be solid colors. Some are going to be all variegated. Some are going to be a combination of variegated and solid colors. And some may be two or more solid colors. I don't know. I'm just going to see what I'm doing. But so that's what I've been working on. So what are you guys saying? Let's see. Cat saying can't sleep. Upside doesn't get to see you live. Yay! Sorry for the insomnia, but yay that you're here for an actual live. Oh. All right. Sorry about that. Had to block somebody. Yeah, I like the rectangular one the best too. Um, I knew that you could do a rectangle grid a rectangle granny square, for lack of a better way of describing it. I had just never actually done one. So, once I figured out how to make the initial rectangle, the log cabin just came together, and I'm pretty happy with it. Are you doing the EFA blanket cowl? No. I didn't know that they're doing a blanket cowl, but I've got several cows going on right now anyway, and plus with this my hand doing like this, I'm lousy in a cow right now because I could only like crochet for like 5 or 10 minutes. So, but actually, I might look into it because I like expression fiber art stuff. Thank you. Yep, saw the troll. I got her or him or whoever. Bend over, clever name, haha. Oh, Acela, you got flash floods. Oh, wonderful. I'm. Let me knock on some wood, but I'm kind of shocked we haven't had any because we're surrounded by creeks and I live on an island. So, but anyway, that's what I've been working on, and that's what I'm going to continue working on. I'm going to go back and forth between the log cabin placemats and the flower placemats and see what you know. I'm weird. I would combine them on the same table. I mean, they're all in the same colorways. I'd combine them on the same table. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. Let's see. And that's what I'm going to continue working on. And I've got a couple of pattern ideas that are floating around in my head, but like I said, I sketched those out. I'm going to go ahead and finish these first, and then I'll work on the other. Well, I've got 3 more pattern ideas, and then I'll work on those. Flash floods are scary, but around here, and probably Acela can relate to this. They're just a way of life. If it rains and rains and it's especially if you get like a heavy downpour, a flash flood is just a given. You know to expect it. Thank you, Lucy. We live in the Chihuahuan desert and it's monsoon season. Rain comes fast and hard. Yep, yep. Flash floods are scary. Yeah, they're no fun. Um, Back in the '90s, there was and you could like if you want to Google this, Google the Shady Side flood. It was a flash flood that killed a lot of people in my area. It was horrible. Um, and the aftermath of it was even worse. People, even now, like if this was back in the '90s, we're talking 30 years ago. there are people that are still trying to recover from it. And there was one woman, and this story breaks my heart. Her daughter died in the flash flood trying to save this little girl she was babysitting. And I want to say the first anniversary of the flood, she committed suicide. She just could not keep going. But yeah, it affected a lot of people, and it still does. Um, you could still see where some of the flooding was, the scarring on buildings, and it was bad. It was a really rough time around here. It made national news. That's what I was saying. If you Google Shady Side flood, you would see stories about it. So yeah, flash floods are not. And they tell you turn around, don't drown. That's not just a clever saying. Literally, do not drive through that water. That water may look like it's just there, but the undercurrent in that flood water is ridiculous, and it will pull you under. It will pull a car under. So just don't drive in it. But I don't know how many times I've seen stories around here of people who have driven into it and either had to be rescued or in some cases didn't make it. So yeah, I don't play with it at all. But that's just me. Cat says very smart, writing the pattern down as you go. I'm always convinced I'll remember and write it down afterwards. Yeah, I never do. Yeah, see, once I realized that I was onto a winning pattern, I got to like these two prongs, the two prong section. Excuse me, now I get hiccups. I got to here and realized, okay, no, you know what? I know where I'm going with this. I'm going to like it. I stopped and I wrote down the first part, and then I wrote the rest of it as I went. So, yeah, I learned from previous mistakes. Um, like the low shrug. Yeah, I had to like literally go back and recreate that to write the pattern because I did the shrug and didn't write it down. So I had to go back and recreate the pattern. So yeah, I learned from that. I do patterns as I go, especially from now on, because yeah, I'm not doing that again. That was a nightmare. This is saying we have them here in Zion National Park and the other national parks that are in the areas. Yeah, we. Okay, so where I live, we have a creek that's called Big Willie Creek, but you have to understand this creek is the size of some rivers. That's how big this creek is. So when Big Willie Creek floods, it can literally put almost my entire town underwater. So when they're calling for a flash flood, and flash floods are normally for creeks and streams, you know, we heed that warning. And the kicker, and not the kicker, but to add on to that, Big Willie Creek feeds into the Ohio River, which is I live on an island in the middle of the Ohio. So when the creek feeds into it, after a flash flood, after we've dealt with that, I have to keep an eye on the river because there's a good chance that depending on where the river level is, I could be dealing with flooding on my island. So it's just, and also when we have like torrential downpours, because I'm on an island, the water level, the water table is pretty low. So our sewers back up, so our streets are flooded. It's our basements will flood. It, I hate as much as I love this season. That aspect of it, I can do without. Yep. So yeah, that's what I'm working on, and yeah, it's hot and it's supposed to rain tonight. Now we're talking about flash flooding, so I should probably check that forecast and see where the river's sitting while I'm thinking about it. I'll do that after this chat. Let's see. So, what else is going on? Let's see. I haven't spent a whole lot of time other than my own live and doing the panel that I do with Kath and Affordably Crafty and Alice of Crafty Chats Cafe and Reggie when she can get to a computer. Um, that's fun. And let's see. But other than those, I really haven't spent a whole lot of time in lives this week. I feel kind of bad because I normally at least try to like hit a couple during the week, but ugh, it has not worked out for me. So I don't really have a whole lot to say about the Yarny community other than, well, I know we know about all the sad tragedies that have gone on here in the Yarny community the last couple of days. Um, um, but yeah, that's about all that I can possibly report on with that. No, my Facebook crochet groups have been interesting of late. Um, one of the groups I'm in, they're actually complaining about crochet being on TikTok. They don't think it's a dignified place for crochet, which, as far as I'm concerned, any avenue to get more people interested in crocheting, the better, because crocheting is kind of I won't say it's a dying craft, but there are less people crocheting now than there used to be. So any, exposure that might bring people to crochet is good for me. But there's just a group of women that are just that don't understand why it's on TikTok and why, or on the TikToks, as the one woman said, that cracked me up. But she just doesn't think that it belongs on there, and she doesn't understand why people post the videos. I was going to ask her how she felt about YouTube videos regarding crochet, but I really didn't want to start a fight if I could help it, so I left it alone. Let's see what you say. Well, yeah, I know, right? Makes zero sense. Crocheting is a rebel, not at all dignified. Yeah, you're kind of right. I mean, we take a hook and we take yarn or a fiber, and using a series of techniques of making loops and knots, we create fabric. And it's pretty rebellious, I guess, when you think about it. Because, and that's another thing. Yeah, we're making fabric, okay? When you crochet something, it's a fabric. This is a fabric. You will take this fabric and you make other things. So, yeah, there's skill to it, there's an art to it, but it is rather rebellious, I guess, now that I think about it. Cool. It's probably why I like it so much, because I'm a rebel at heart anyway. But, again, I'll say this one more time. Any exposure crochet gets is cool with me. And I mean, I've made a couple of TikTok videos crocheting. Um, I'm all for it. And those that, I don't know if they don't want people to pick up the craft, or they want to keep the craft pure, which I guess is greatest all greatest stitch and greatest squares all the time. I don't know. I'm not even trying to delve into that mindset. But I just saw that comment and I bristled at it. Really, I'm like, really? You're that mad about it? And then to see all the likes the comment got, I'm like, oh, come on, people. It's 2022. People actually, share videos of their crochet on the TikTok. It'll be okay. I promise. Let's see. Why wouldn't it be dignified? Also, what's the difference between TikTok and Instagram? Well, I don't know. A lot of people see Instagram as, this is me showing off something I've made. This is me showing off something I've created. Whereas TikTok, I guess, is just like the last frontier of, I don't know. You know what? I can't even finish that 'cause I'm not even sure what their rationale is as to why Instagram might be okay and TikTok's not. But to be fair, I didn't ask them how they feel about. I felt about that. I didn't ask them how they felt about Instagram, just like I didn't ask them about YouTube because it probably would have started a fight, and I really wasn't trying to get into a fight. But there are some people that just think that sharing stuff like that on social media in general isn't dignified. But I'm like, it's kind of one of those Pinterest, Etsy, or nowhere kind of people. You've met them. You know, they have their Etsy store, and if you don't have an Etsy store, then you're not a real crochet seller or whatever they call themselves. But I have friends that they sell on Etsy, they sell on Instagram, they get sales from TikTok, they get sales from Facebook. So one more time for the people in the back, any exposure crochet gets, I'm for. Oh man, ha ha. Crocheting is twisted. Yep, I get all knotted up doing it. Also, it makes you wonder what they watch if they think TikTok only has undignified content. Yeah, I'm not even going there. Yeah, I don't want to know what they've seen. They're probably just basing it on some weird stuff they've seen, like their kid or their grandkid watching, and they're just expecting that same weird stuff, only with somebody with a crochet hook and yarn in their hands. I don't know. I'm not even going to delve there because that's kind of scary. Of course, if you see some of the things that people crochet and post on TikTok, I guess some could consider some of those things undignified. Personally, I think they're awesome and hysterical. But that's the crowd I run with. I don't have TikTok, but I agree the exposure is good. Yeah, we need more people to get into the craft, and people are using TikTok as a way of showing off their handiwork, and I think that's great. Yes. So I think we're all in agreement that almost any exposure is good exposure. Um, you know, we need more people to get into the craft. The more people we have in the craft, the more um, exposure we have, the better shot of getting like better tools and yarns that are especially for crocheters, since most of the time most yarn is aimed at knitters. Crocheters are just like a second thought. So the color changing yarns that work with crochet better than they do knit. That'd be awesome. There's some out there, but more would be great. Makes me want to go search for weird crochet videos now. They're out there. I can tell you that much. Let's see. What else came up? Um, oh, so one of the videos on TikTok videos, it was crochet was showing how to change colors, how to change yarn colors, and it was most of you probably know this, but you start the stitch, you stop right before you do the final pull through, and then you add the second color, and you use that for the pull through. So the stitch ends with the original color, but now you've got the loop up for the new color. So we all pretty much know this. There's a whole lot of people, and this wasn't like a beginning crochet group. This is like a crochet group of people who have been crocheting for decades, who had never heard of that, and were totally blown away. And that just made me think. It's like it's crazy. We all do crochet, but we all do crochet in our own ways, and we all have our ways of doing things. And so when a way that's completely and totally common to me is totally foreign to somebody else, I'm amused by that. Not amused as in, haha, why don't you know this? It's amused as in, okay, someone does something completely different as to how I do it. but we all end up with the same result. We all want to do that. We all want to get to that final pull through, and to the point we have to weave in ends, which brings me to another topic. In the same video, she was crocheting over the ends, and people were losing their minds. You're like, oh my god, I would never crochet over my ends. They come out in the wash, they wiggle loose. Um, and people were just going on and on and on about what a bad idea it is. I personally crochet over my ends, but I am a very tight crocheter. So crocheting over my ends, they're not going anywhere. But I can see if you're not a really tight crocheter, how your ends might wiggle themselves free. But yes, so it was that tired. Crochet over your ends or sew them in at the end. Um, on thinner pieces for me, I will crochet partially over them, but then I will keep a long enough tail to go and sew in part of that tail as well, just because I just want that extra, you know, safety net, so to speak. So that was a very interesting thread to read. I learned to do it like that with graph gains and amigurumi. Yeah. If you do graph gains, amigurumi, or mosaic, you learn how to change colors that way. That's how you change colors because you're also carrying through another color through most of the time. So you're forever going back and forth between the colors. Well, mosaic, you're not doing because, like I said, you're carrying it through, so you're not changing colors per se as much as you're just dropping one color, picking up another one. Same with gingham, but like in graph can work definitely. That's how you would do it because that's the smoothest way to change the colors. Let's see. What else were they talking about? Oh, another topic that was interesting was baby blankets. Most people when they make baby blankets, they're thinking pink, blue, yellow, general pastels. This one woman had made a baby blanket, and it was like these dark browns, dark gray, some black, and it was like an ombre yarn, and it was absolutely stunning. And it was yarn that her mother-in-law had picked out, and so it wasn't traditional baby colors, but the Afghan was stunning. But people were commenting that, well, it's beautiful, but I'm not totally sure it's right for a baby. And I was like, why? Babies don't like brown. Babies might not like dark colors. I don't understand. Why? How did we get to the point where babies only get pastel colors? When did that happen? I mean, I know that traditionally it's always pink for a girl and blue for a boy. And if you don't know which one it is, keep it neutral with some purple, some yellow, and some green. But who says you can't make a baby blanket out of brown and grays and black and green and darker colors? I mean, who's to say? Maybe the nursery is being done in like a jungle motif with brown trees and green leaves and brown vines and you know in that case that blanket fits right in. It fits in better than like a traditional pastel colored blanket would. I just don't understand why people are so afraid of embracing a change for once. You can make a baby blanket for a little girl. It doesn't have to be pink or yellow or pastel. Really, you can do it. Matter of fact, I made a goth baby blanket for a friend of mine's granddaughter, and it was black, purple, and dark gray, and it came out beautifully. And when she told me the colors, I was like, "This is a baby blanket, right?" Okay, but then it turned out that she finally finished the thought, and it was a Nightmare Before Christmas baby blanket, and then it kind of makes sense. It made more sense. But I had to really think about my own bias. It's like I was like taken aback by those colors for a baby blanket, but then I thought about it. I'm like, well, why not? What difference does it make? So Yeah, we need to start embracing change. We can make baby blankets out of different colors that aren't pastels. It won't hurt. If you use any other color than baby blue or pink, the baby will melt. Apparently, and I guess if you use black and brown or grays, the baby will just melt to the blanket. And you won't be able to find it. I don't understand. I don't get it. But she got a lot of pushback for it. I mean, a lot of people liked it, but a lot of people were like, "Oh, but those aren't traditional baby colors." Maybe they're not traditional people, you know, or maybe people won't know it's a baby. Yeah, exactly. It's like, so what you got in that baby blanket? Alligator? Is that a frog? You're carrying around a turtle, aren't you? Yeah, it's a turtle. You're carrying around a turtle in a baby blanket. Oops, I made my grandson a baby blanket with Santa Fe sunset colors. Worse yet, I got the yarn from a deceased woman's unfinished project. Oh, blasphemy. Not only did you use non traditional colors, you repurposed some yarn. Oh, they should take away your crochet license. You should not be allowed to crochet. Shame, shame, shame. That's funny. And Santa Fe Sunset Colors sounds like a perfectly lovely blanket because those are some very pretty colors. A black baby blanket would be awesome. A pain to make, but awesome. Yeah, the the one I made, it was black and then like a deep dark purple, and then like a charcoal gray. And so to kind of make my life a little easier, I went back and forth between I do like black and then I do gray, then I do purple, then I do gray, so that I wasn't constantly staring at a sea of dark colors where I might miss a stitch. So breaking it up that way made it a little easier. But yeah, I try generally I try to avoid crocheting with black yarn because it's just a bad time all the way around. It's one of those things you like the end result, but the process is a nightmare. Yep, a turtle. I will wait for the crochet police here while I knit. Okay. So I put down the hook. I've picked up my knitting needles. Nothing to see here. Have a nice day. If the baby blanket is black and purple and other dark color, maybe you got the Dark Lord in there. The Sith child, yeah, perhaps. But no, in the case of the one I made, they were just really into Nightmare Before Christmas. And they wanted a Nightmare Before Christmas baby blanket. So I did it in those colors, then I added the head of Jack Skellington on the quarter. It was cute. It turned out really well. Love purple and gray. Yeah, black is a nightmare, but I like it when it's done. Exactly. It can be stunning when it's done, but getting to that point can be a pain in the neck. Hi, Catherine. Sorry I'm late. I was trying to eat tacos, but it wasn't going well with only one side of my mouth working so far. Oh, you're fine. No need to apologize. How are you doing? How are things going? I know that you had decided to pick up the knitting needles again as part of your therapy. How's that going? I'm making a polka dot blanket with rainbow polka dots, and the background color is black. Oh, you are brave, Lucy. And now that I'm assuming that you are no longer driving, you just told me what you're working on. Are you sipping on anything good? And how's your week been so far? People are saying hello to Catherine. Isn't it? That sounds very pretty. Sounds really, really pretty. We'll have to see pics of it when you're done. Um, but yeah, so basically, it was the typical arguments in the craft and the crochet communities. The traditionalists who want to keep things status quo, granny square, granny stitch, double crochet. If it's for a baby, it's a pastel color. If it's for a guy, it's got to be some dark color. If it's for a female, aim for the pinks and the purples. Don't modify from that, stray from that because I guess the world will end or something. I'm not totally sure what the penalty is for straying away from it. But I mean, I made that baby blanket and the world didn't stop spinning, so I'm pretty sure that they're making stuff up as they go along. Catherine's saying she's healing pretty well. Knitting is going great. Healing is slow, but healing. Trying to get amped up for chemo and radiation. Oh, well. You'll get through it. You can do it. Yeah. We've got faith in you. Lucy's saying that's one of my whips. I'm sewing the squares together. I could only work on it in bright light. Yeah, I bet. What stitch are you using to sew them together? We really need to make a call the crochet police gift. I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt. And considering I have access to someone who could print T-shirts for me, I may actually have to make that T-shirt and maybe sell it as merch. Maybe we'll see. And the seller sending good vibes to Catherine. But yeah, I'm not. It's probably not much of a shock for you, but I'm not really a traditionalist. Um, I never understood the need to cling desperately to traditions. I think life is should be a little more vibrant than just doing the same things over and over again because that's how they've always been done. And what people don't seem to realize is that the part where, well, this is how it's always been done, at one point, that wasn't true. At one point, somebody took what is now a tradition, took a risk, and created something new. Because I guarantee that before what is now a tradition was new at one point. You know, everything has an origin. Every idea, is a spark of something else. So to sit around and say, well, that's just how we've always done it, that's how you've always done it. That may be how the generation before you did it, but the generation before that probably did it in a completely different way. So creating a new way of doing things, in a way, is how you get traditions to begin with. You do something a certain way, and then somebody's like, maybe let's try doing it this way. So then they try doing it this other way. People like it, and they start doing it, and then guess what? That becomes a tradition. So, bulking at the idea of new ideas, you're just eliminating the opportunity to create new traditions. Why do that? Life should be explored. Life should be enjoyed. You should try new things. You know, what's the worst thing gonna happen? You don't like it? Okay, don't do it again. It's not that hard. Oh, okay. You guys got really chatty really quick all of a sudden. Hi, Ashley. How are you doing? What's new? How's your week been? What are you working on? And are you sipping on anything nice tonight? Cass saying, Catherine, I wish you all the best. My mom had a hard time eating after radiation as well. I know the struggle. Catherine saying, thank you, Estella. A friend said to think of chemo and radiation as little soldiers going in and fighting those cancer cells. That's a good way of looking at it. Traditional crocheters used lace and fingering weight with metal hooks. Now the trends are size 5 with chunky yarn. You got a point there. Catherine is saying thank you to Cat. So it's saying size J. Yeah, they're using J hooks and not like 1.5s. Exactly. Every craft or art needs people taking it and running with it. Otherwise, the craft dies. Exactly. And we're trying to keep that from happening. Slip stitch. Of course, I have about 7 of the whips. I finish something and start on another instead of finishing what I have in my project bags. I do that all the time. I will be working on a craft and I'll see something on Pinterest. I'll see a YouTube video. Somebody will put something in a crochet group and it'll spark either the pattern itself will get my interest or it'll spark an idea. And then I have to start that project as well. Which is why I have probably 10 works in progress right now. But I'm really going to need to just like start focusing in on like 1 or 2 projects because it's a little ridiculous. I need to finish something. Saying hi to Ashley. I'm drinking my Honor Palmer. So you decided to go ahead and call it an Arnold Palmer. I just put my corner to corner down to stretch and rest my neck and back. My day started bad but got better, and that's what matters. Yep, that's what matters. Doesn't really matter how you start as long as you finish strong. Saying hi. If I think about it, I am into really what? That's all I what? Well, yeah, we need to put these pretty project bags to use. I need to buy more project bags. Okay, this is how bad my whips are. I had to stop and make a project bag so that I would have some place to put one of my works in progress. I literally whipped up a quick project bag for work in progress. I could have just finished the whip, but no. I needed to make sure I had some place to I could store it, so I set it aside and made a project bag. Make that make sense? And I've done it more than once. I can't even say it was just like a one-off thing. No, I've done it more than once. Old traditional by making yarn and carving hooks. Yes, okay. I am blaming my cruddy typing on this scary thunderstorm. We'll run with that. We are okay with running with that. That's fine. That's the best excuse for starting a new project. So technically, I guess I can say that I have completed several projects. They just happen to be project bags for my works in progress. Uh, I'm goofy. But I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad you guys don't think I'm nuts for doing that. But I've done it, like I said, several times. I mean, there's one right here. Well, I didn't. This was something I was making and scrapped the idea and just turned it into a project bag. I've got some other ones behind me, but I'm not going to reach for them. But yeah, I've literally stopped working on works in order to make a project bag in order to store it. Some of those gotta be weird. Okay, ladies, I'm having fun, but I'm going to try to sleep a bit. See y'all later. Thanks for being here, Kath. Hope you get some sleep. Good night. I've done that too, Mocha. I made 5 crochet baskets to put my whips in. Now, one could argue to just finish the dang project, but no. So I decided to crochet a basket for it. But see, here's the thing though. Now that you have the basket, when you finish that work in progress, you now have a basket for your next one. So you really kind of did yourself a favor. It's my story. I'm sticking to it. My son came home and wants food, so I'm working now. Okay, that's fine, Lucy. So saying good night to Calf. Calf is saying goodbye to everybody. He's saying goodbye to Calf. Okay, so yeah, so that's. I mean, I could buy more project bags, and quite frankly, one of the reasons why I kind of want to go back to sewing instead of I could go back to sewing project bags because actually it's one of those things. It's a simple. I like I am a novice sewer, as in I can sew like squares together and make a bag. Anything past that is a little past like my expertise. But yes, I kind of want to start sewing it just so I can make project bags that have stuff to put my have places to put my whips. I also want to start sewing again because um she just left. It was either Kath or it might have been Alice that showed me a video of this guy that just takes these repurposed items and makes new items out of it. And several of them were crocheted items, like blankets and afghans. And he literally cut the blankets and the afghans and stuff and sewed them back together. And I remember not too long ago, I had been it was a conversation in one of my crochet groups. Someone had asked if you could cut and sew crochet, and people were screaming, "No, you can't do that! Once you cut it, it falls apart." And I'm like, "No, it not really," because again, as I said earlier tonight, you're making a fabric, and sure enough, this guy, you can see him cutting it, and you see him sewing it back together, and making completely new items, and that fascinated me, and I thought it was neat. So, it's another reason why I kind of want to bust out the sewing machine. I just have no place to put a sewing machine. I just need a bigger workroom. I really do. A much larger workroom. I need to make that happen. I'm going to speak it into existence. I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to end up with a workroom that will accommodate everything that I want to do with my crafting and YouTube and other things. There. I've spoken into the universe. We'll see what happens. It is. Storage is very important. You need that. You need someplace to put stuff. Yes, sewing for me is quilts and anything squarish. So yeah, that's another thing. I used to do quilts, and if I had more room for a sewing machine, I'd probably go back into quilts anyway. And I love combining quilting and crochet. Oh my goodness, I love that so much. I love combining the two. My grandmother made a huge Afghan and then cut it to fit her couch. Stayed like that until the day she died. Yeah, it's but there are people that are swearing up and down you can't do it. And I'm like, I don't know why you couldn't do it. A collector said if it's in a pretty box, it's not hoarding when it came to collectibles. I put my yarn and projects in pretty boxes. Never mind that the boxes reach the ceiling. You're right. It's collectible. It's not hoarding. It's collectibles. We're gonna run with that. I like that. I like that idea. Oh, sorry guys. Oh, that went down. That went down wrong. But yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been working on, and that's what's going on in my life and in my little crochet world. Um, let's see. We're coming up on the hour, and I have some stuff I need to do, so I'm probably going to keep this at right around an hour. So um, I'm working on some videos. I have been working on some crochet tutorials, but now that I'm not crocheting fast enough or for a long enough time. The tutorial is going to have to go on the back burner until my hand is more cooperative. Um, I do have some yarn unboxings to do, so I'll probably do those. And there's something else. I can't think what it is right now. I should have written it down. I wrote down everything else I wanted to talk about tonight, but I forgot to write that down. But yeah, there's going to be like an unboxing or two. Um, oh, I need to finish my hook review, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I could probably pull off a hook review. I could probably crochet long enough to do a hook review. So yeah, I think that's about it for me tonight, guys. I'm sorry I'm cutting it short. Like I said, I didn't really come with a whole lot of stuff to share with you guys as far as like works in progress or finished objects because I've just been kind of crippled and moving slow. So, um, oh wait, what? Who was hosting on Sunday? Sunday is we're doing unpopular opinion. So it's going to be, I believe Reggie's going to be hosting it. If not, one of us will host it, but she's going to be there. And we're talking about gadgets. I'll just leave it at that. So yeah, it'll be like the full panel on Sunday. So it'll be Reggie, Kath, Affordable Crafty, aka Kim, Alice, Craft Chat Cafe. That's it, Kath, and me. So it'll be us, and we'll be talking about gadgets. Slight rant. I didn't really go on a full blown rant. I kind of, I did some, I don't know, strong commentary, I guess, but no, you didn't really miss a full on rant this time. I'm not feeling all that ranty. I think my arm hurts so much from the rant, which you would think, being in pain, that would prompt more ranting. But in my case, I'm in pain. I just kind of just mellow out and like, you know what? Be stupid. I don't care. Whatever. That's how I get. So, room for my arm to feel better, and I'll be back to my normally ranty self. So, yeah, no real rant tonight. Just some slight complaining. Gadgets, tools, please. I am a snooty artist. Well, these are gadgets other than crochet hooks that will be talking about. So you'll also have to tune in and see what we talk about. I'm not even totally sure what all we're talking about because we haven't really shared what tools or gadgets that we're bringing to this. So it should be interesting. Well, you can go back and watch the replay if there had been a rant. But yeah, I there's no real rant, but like, I did do some complaining. So and prayers for all. Well, thank you, Lucy. And with that, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Uh, yeah, like I said, there'll probably be an unboxing, a yarn unboxing, and a hook review this week. If not, know that my arm was just being uncooperative, and I decided to just give it a complete and total rest. For secondly, is what I really need to do. I need to not. Are you ready for this? I need to not crochet for a solid 2 days. You know what kind of torture that is? And to be completely real, I need to do 2 solid days of no crocheting and no typing. I think I can grit my teeth and do a day of that and then maybe do a second day of one or the other. And I think I'm going to try because I know that if I do that, it'll it, the pain will subside quicker and I can go back to doing things full on. But do you have any? I know you guys know to go 2 days not doing something that you have done every day for years? I'm gonna try it, and I may make some posts on my social media to try to get you guys to like cheer me on while I'm doing it. So if you see that post, you'll know I went ahead and bit the bullet and I'm attempting it. Because I'm trying to avoid, because if I don't do it and I keep working even in small increments, I'm going to end up with a splint, and that's going to knock me out for longer than 2 days. So yeah, I'm cross my fingers. Anyway, enough about that. I'm gonna go get out of here because I'm kind of hungry and I want to see what I'm gonna eat for dinner. And I will see you guys on the Yarny Streets. And if I don't see you in a live between now and Sunday, I will see you on Sunday. And if I don't see you on Sunday, I will see you back here on Wednesday. So thanks for being here, and I will chat with y'all soon. Bye.